Hey guys, Michael Marshawn, your Choose to Win, licensed Ziegler coach, your Texas broker, and San Antonio realtor. Now I wanted to jump on today, guys. Again, it's Friday, and my latest episode wanted to talk about the mental spoke of the wheel. If you're familiar with me, you know Ziegler at all, then you know we've covered the seven spokes, and today we're focusing on the mental. And specifically, just because the mental is kind of where everything begins. Now, everything starts with the mental, and then it trickles down from there. So if you don't have a good mental state, you're not getting the right input, then it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for you to achieve and succeed at a high level. So there are times, and I have had this point in my own life, so I'm gonna be real honest and authentic and vulnerable with you guys today, that I just wasn't ready for coaching. I have been in coaching for, as long as I've been in real estate, so over 6 years, but there was times where coaching was honestly just ineffective because I was not in a mental place where I could actually act on and do the things that my coach was telling me to do. So that's why I titled this video, Do I Need a Coach or a Counselor? And just going through a quick little overview here of what a coach and a counselor is, and then I'm going to get into kind of how you can tell if you, in your particular situation, need a coach or a counselor. I'm just going to share a little bit more about my story, and hopefully that will help give you guys some clarity and some encouragement. I do feel like mental health is a little bit of a hot button issue right now. But I think on the whole, it's something that is still very underserved. And especially coming from a man's perspective or from men, I don't feel like there's a lot of guys out there talking about it. And that's something that I am passionate about and that I am trying to break the stigma and the cycle of. So here we go, diving in. So, what is a counselor versus a coach? Now, on a very high level, a counselor is somebody, not always there's lay counselors, so speaking in a little bit generalities here, but a licensed counselor is somebody that has a master's degree. In Texas, they've been through about 3,000 hours of practicum. And essentially, what that looks like is being supervised by another counselor that's licensed to supervise incoming counselors or counselors in training. And basically, they have to perform 3,000 hours of counseling or counseling related activities. Report them to the state, have their licensed supervisor sign off on them before the state will even issue them a license. So right there, you have 2 years of school beyond your regular bachelor's degree. You have 3,000 hours, and you have a state license that is henceforth regulated once you are licensed. So you have very specific guidelines and very specific rules that you have to follow. Now flip over to the other side of coach. Now coaches are great. As you know, I am a coach. I happen to be licensed, not by a state organization, but by a private organization in the Ziegler organization. And not all coaches are licensed. There's no technical requirement that you have to be licensed. You can call yourself a coach for just about any reason, just because you feel like it. So you can be a life coach, you can be a career coach, you can be a business coach. You can be whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. So, like I said, myself, I am licensed, but not by the state. I'm licensed by Ziegler, by the Ziegler organization. So for me, that just adds a level of credibility. Plus, I really believe in what they teach and how they run their business and what their mission and their goal in having this business is. So that's the reason I chose to go ahead and put my money and my time and my energy into becoming a Ziegler licensed coach. But again, no, not a requirement. And if you are in the market for a coach, then do be careful about that because not all coaches are going to be licensed or backed by a reputable organization. So, generally speaking, if you are looking to improve yourself and you want to perform at a high level, you want to leave a legacy. Now, we're going to run into, as coaches, one of two types of people. You're going to run into somebody that needs a coach, or you're going to run into somebody that's not quite ready for a coach, but they need a counselor. And as a coach, as a licensed coach, I'm actually married to a licensed counselor. So my wife is an LPC. So I have a little bit of a unique perspective from the fact that I have been in counseling for childhood sexual abuse. I spent about 4 years in counseling dealing with that on both the lay side and the professional license side. And if you want more on that, go back and watch my video from a couple weeks ago. I share my whole story of childhood sexual abuse, just what I went through and kind of the process of how I was able to work through that with both church counselors and professional counselors. So basically, if depending on where you fall in those two categories, like I said, there was a time in life where I wasn't ready for a coach. I've been in coaching for 6 years, as long as I've been in real estate, but there was a time that probably first half of my career, if I'm being completely honest, 3 years there, where I was with coaches and they were telling me to do stuff, but I was quite frankly in survival mode. So I was showing up every day. I was really honestly giving it my best effort. But my best effort was pretty bad because I had major depression issues. I had anxiety issues. We had just had a little baby, another one on the way, so I wasn't sleeping. Like there was a lot of things that I had to deal with from a mental health and from a counseling perspective before I could really fully throw myself into coaching and be successful at it. So that transition for me from survival into stability is really when I hit stability, that's when I started to have success and gain some traction with my coach. So from that point on, I've been in coaching ever since. And even now that I'm a licensed coach, I still have a coach because I believe in it that much. I have a coach for my fitness. I have a coach for my business. I have actually multiple coaches for different areas of my life because I know that I need that accountability and I need that specialization. So I want somebody that has been down the road before me. My coach has been in the business for 20 years. I'm just getting started in this coaching business. And I'm practically a newborn compared to them. But having that experience, having somebody that's been down the road will save you so much heartache. And that's why I believe that if I'm going to truly leave a legacy, then while I'm coaching, I need to be coached as well. And again, that is the shift from stability to success. That's when I was in counseling, I was in survival. I have shifted from there to stability. And as I've been in coaching, I've switched from stability and transitioned into success. And my ultimate goal is to leave a legacy. And on the road to legacy, I want to help as many people as I can. That's my motivation for making this video. And again, just trying to shed a little bit of light as much as I can on this particular topic. So, not to say that you're never going to need a counselor again. I mean, I've experienced in my own life after gaining success in real estate and getting into coaching this past year, I've completely changed as a person. So, the person I was when I started coaching, I have grown and I have changed as I've been in that process. And that's what I love about coaching is that it pushes you and it forces you out of your comfort zone. And it's something that you can't do alone. You have to rely on your coach to keep you accountable, to guide you, and to help you get where you're ultimately going. And for me, I still struggle to some degree with depression and anxiety. And that's something for me personally that's just going to be a lifelong battle. It's actually because of my circumstances, I have a chemical imbalance to where my body just does not produce the chemicals that it needs to properly regulate my emotions and my endorphins or dopamine, or don't quote me on the technical side of that. But basically, I take an antidepressant every day because my body doesn't produce enough chemicals for that. And there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in the culture we live in, there's a very good chance that somewhere down the road that might come back to bite me. But I believe very strongly in sharing my experience, and I believe very strongly in trying to break down the stigma behind mental health. And even more strongly, I believe in coaching, and I believe that everybody out there has greatness inside of them. And if it takes you going to a counselor and working through some of your past experiences, your past traumas, maybe your current situation is not great, whatever it is, there is no shame in doing that. And that is honestly one of the best things that you can do for your family and your future, because that will put you in so much better of a position going forward than just trying to muscle through it and trying to ignore it and press it down. I can speak from experience. I did that for years, first 3 years of my career, and it just doesn't work. I've had more success in the last 3 years of my real estate career than I've had in my entire life. And now I'm starting a successful coaching practice, and that's a way for me to give back because I truly want to help people find their passions. I love helping people find their why, but also just believing in people that don't even believe in themselves. Like I meet people all the time and I see greatness in them and I see their potential, but they're so down and they're so out of it that they don't even believe in themselves. So that's an opportunity for me to help lift them up, to encourage them. Maybe they're not quite ready for coaching. Maybe they need to get into counseling, but once they work their stuff out, I'm going to be right there waiting for them. And I'm going to help them on their way to stability, success, and ultimately legacy. So, guys, don't be afraid to get into counseling. Don't buy into the stigma that counseling is bad or you're somehow weak if you go to counseling. I've got PTSD or I had PTSD. I've been sexually abused. Like, I have all kinds of issues, and I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'8". So, if you look at me, I'm kind of the epitome of a big, strong man. Like, I'm not the person that you would think would be sitting in a counselor's chair pouring their heart out. But I did that for many, many years. And if it comes down to it and I ever need it in the future, I'm 100% willing to go back and do some more work. I have by no means arrived. And I know that as I continue down this journey and continue through this life, there's going to be other things that I have to deal with. And as I grow as a person, that may bring out things that I didn't have to deal with before, but I do now. And that is the beautiful thing about having a coach, having a counselor, having a team of people that truly care for you and want the best for you, because they're going to believe in you and they're going to be there to carry you when you don't believe in and can't carry yourself. So even if you don't have a great family situation, even if you have very few friends, there are people like myself out there who want nothing more than to see you succeed. And the rest is really up to you. We are here waiting for you guys. So whether it's me or whether it's somebody else that's helping you or that can help you, reach out to them and get the process started because it's not something we can do on our own. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you listening. Hopefully, this speaks to some of you. Again, no stigma, no judgment. If you are on an antidepressant, if you're on medication of any kind, or you need to go into counseling, like do what you got to do for yourself, and the rest of the world be damned. So, stay strong, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week.